I'm Justin Pritchard. This is the Ford Mustang Mach-E. I've been excited to get my hands on this for a while. I've been waiting to drive this thing for what feels like ages, and I've got a lot to show you in this video, but the Mach-E does its best work in motion. This is a video for anyone who's strongly considering the Ford Mustang Mach-E, or maybe who's already got their order in and is waiting for their unit to arrive. My tester was the Mustang Mach-E First Edition model, complete with 346 horsepower, all-wheel drive, and range around 435 kilometers. There are different configurations possible with different motor and battery arrangements, including rear drive models and higher performing models too. With 428 pounds of torque available the millisecond that your foot hits the firewall, and an all-wheel drive system that's not constrained by things like clutches and axles and differentials, the best thing about driving this car is city traffic lights, I think. Just give the throttle a poke and you're through the intersection in a blink with plenty of traction before anyone else is even moving yet, probably, and all the while, not a peep.
When I first went to get into the vehicle, I was like, hey look, there's a handle here, but you can't open it. You gotta push the button.
Look at that. And it's like the smoothest, most solid action. Like, listen to how it just sounds like you're opening the door to a high-tech airlock in a spacecraft or something.
And the back door doesn't even have the handle whatsoever, so it just has the button.
So the door itself is like its own handle. Look at this, and listen, listen. I think we can just... No, they don't close themselves. But yeah. So that's some pretty cool doors. Of course, door handles are less aerodynamic. That's drag, that's less energy efficient, so they got rid of them. To the performance, I'd say the way this machine drives is the first thing to get excited about. Part of me wondered if the Mach-E's new electric drive system might be the only thing it had going for it, the star of the show. But nope, actually this is a great driving machine. Specifically, there's a distinctive feel and character that enthusiast drivers will almost immediately notice. It rolls very smoothly down the road, with changing road surfaces doing little to change cabin noise levels. The Mach-E feels heavy and dense while cruising and stays sufficiently hushed for easy conversations at or beyond the highway speed limit, so it's also a nice place to sit back and socialize. The thing is, the suspension and ride and steering are also fantastic, especially if you're a driving enthusiast after something that's engaging but still comfortable on highway trips. So to the electric driving experience, they've dialed in this quiet, dense, heavy, solid feel on the road, but also kept the reflexes pretty snappy and enthusiastic. So I'd happily tell you this is a beautiful highway cruiser, a hilariously responsive city commuter, and all in all, a nice place to sit back and relax if you like. Now I try to do this test on everything with a back seat that I'm showing you, and it's important that you do this on a test drive too. Get comfortable up here in the front with your driving position. I'm going to hop in the back and show you how I would fit behind myself. First thing you notice sitting back here is because there's no exhaust or drive shaft or any of that stuff under the floor, the rear floor completely flat. That's more room for your feet. Got two fast charging USB ports there, your little pockets to keep things secure. On space. So I'm 5'10", roughly 200 pounds, and sitting directly behind myself. Adequate knee room, adequate shoulder room, adequate thigh room. The headroom's gonna kind of disappear the most quickly. This is super cool. Can we flip up and show the size of the sunroof? Like, the entire thing is one giant glass panel. So that actually helps the interior here feel even bigger than it is. The second thing they've done very nicely in here is the giant central command display system. Now, it looks daunting at first, but the interfaces and layout are very intuitive, very easy to learn, and at no point in over 1,500 kilometers of driving did this ever choke, lag, crash, or otherwise act up. You will need to spend a few minutes getting used to how to work everything in here, but once you do, you just connect your phone and everything comes to life and works the way it should. As a product, this machine is two things a lot of customers are interested in these days. First, a crossover, and second, an electric vehicle. You've got a decent cargo hold in the back with the powered tailgate, folding seats, adequate rear seat space if you've got them flipped up for adults, and up front, under the so-called frunk, another small storage area with a handy built-in cargo organizer. Of course, there's no engine, just a battery that's built into the floor, and the motors attached to it which sit between the wheels. From the driver's seat, it's a freshly modernized take on a distinctively Ford cabin. We've got a high-end soundbar built into the dash behind a fabric cover. A decided lack of many buttons and switches, and instead this ginormous touchscreen display in the middle with this cool floating volume dial. Ahead of the wheel, it's a smaller display for your instruments and range, and the rest of the cabin really is just focused on shapes and colors and giving you this futuristic but very clean-looking space to enjoy the open road from. And enjoy the open road you will. I did 2,200 kilometers in this machine, drove it on rough roads, highways, trails, day, night, you name it. And as much as I enjoy the smooth and quiet and frankly hilarious experience of electric car acceleration, that wasn't what I'm going to miss the most about this machine when they make me give it back in a few days. What I will miss the most about the Mustang Mach-E is how beautiful this thing feels in motion. When you're reviewing a very important new car that's running next-generation technology, it's always refreshing to find that along the way, they've also made sure the car feels really good to drive. And that's the case here.
So speaking of charging, let me show you how that works. We do that here. This is the main power port that you'll use if you're using a level 3 DC fast charger in public. You just flip this down to accommodate the bigger charger. And for now, let me give you some observations on charging and range and how that all factors into how you feed these electric horses.
On my watch, in these conditions with this particular car, I was consistently able to add 10 kilometers per minute to the battery on a public fast charge station, meaning say 200 kilometers of range added while you have a quick family road trip or lunch stop, or 100 kilometers added while you run into the store and grab a few groceries. If you're stopping and parking anyways, you can take these big gulps of electricity along the way if you need them. And if you're new to driving an EV, fast charging this quickly might mean that you just trickle charge at home during the week and then top off with the fast charger a few times a month, no gas station required, when all you have to do is plug the car in before you walk away. So, to sum things up, I found this Mach-E feels great to drive, has a fantastic infotainment system, and with the quick and consistent DC fast charging along much of my highway drive route, the range anxiety for a relative EV rookie like me is kept to a minimum. Of course, you'll also never need to change your oil or get a tune-up, maintenance is nearly nil, and you'll never have to stand outside and freeze in the winter pumping gas, which is alright with me as well.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for learning about the Ford Mustang Mach-E and coming along for the ride with me. My name's Justin Pritchard. Until next time, take care and drive safe.